Day!
Happy World Fringe Day, everyone!
Happy World Fringe Day, World Fringe!
How are we all today?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, do you, Patrick, do you want to introduce you both and your Fringe Festival?
Absolutely. I'm Patrick Gauthier. I'm the festival director at Ottowa Fringe.
My name is Amanda, and I am the Marketing and Communications Officer at Ottowa Fringe.
So we are located in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Ottawa is the capital of Canada. Hooray. We don't often get to meet Justin Trudeau, but he's around sometimes. So our festival is about 55 to 60 shows per year, about 350 performances. We run over 10 days. We just wrapped up on June 24th this year, our most successful festival ever. Highest attendance, highest payout to artists, highest per average house. So it was great. It's actually the third year of consistent growth for us too. Really great. Yeah, our festival takes place mostly in Arts Court, which is the original courthouse in Ottawa, built in the 19th century. We're attached to the old jail as well. So we have 6 venues in here, and then 3 or 4 other venues kind of scattered around the kind of downtown area. That's kind of our festival in a nutshell, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That sounds brilliant. Brenda, tell us about your festival and where you are in the world.
Right. Hi, I'm Brenda Ohoho, and I'm festival producer for Lagos Fringe. Lagos Fringe is a brand new baby. We only started independently last year. Prior to that, we just ran a fringe strand with the Lagos Theatre Festival, which myself and my partner ran for 5 years. And when we ended our affiliations with the Lagos Theatre Festival, because we moved on, we started the Lagos Fringe last year. And for the first time, it was really good. We had great attendance. We had 115 shows over a period of 5 days.
Wow.
And over a period of 5 days. And we had good payouts to the artists. It wasn't the biggest, but nobody went away, sad.
Yeah.
So it was good. We're located in Lagos, in Abuja. In Lagos. We're located in Lagos, in Nigeria. I meant to say Nigeria. And Lagos is like the commercial capital of Nigeria. We have 20 million people. So, yes, 20 million people in Lagos.
We have 1 million.
I know. I know. Yeah, and we're just trying to put close off our call out for Fringe that's happening in November this year. And this will be the second one.
So the festival happens in November, does it?
Yes, it does.
November. Oh, wow. God, that's a really big city.
So
I had no idea.
I run a festival in a part of London, so we're just one borough in London, so we struggle with our visibility in that borough, which is just one part of London. How do you make your festival visible, and do you do it in a particular area or walkable distance? How do you make that?
Okay, so we have this large park called the Freedom Park. That's our festival hub, where we have a majority of the programming. However, Lagos is divided into mainland and islands locally, and we're situated on the island. From time to time, we try to have venues on the mainland. We haven't been thoroughly successful. We've just had 1 or 2 pop-ups in some large areas, and that's what we do. For visibility, we usually put a lot of the responsibility on the participants, and so we do a lot of pre-festival engagement so that we can teach them how to go and engage locally. We also have partnerships, of course, for the marketing and publicity, because in Lagos it is quite expensive to do publicity. So we have a lot of partnerships that we put in place. But we've been in this community for 20 years plus. We're pretty grounded in it. And so in terms of local engagement within the industry, we pretty much get the word out there for people to participate, to join the festival, and all of those things. So in terms of visibility, what we are hoping to do is to increase our audiences at the moment, because at the end of the day, theatre is still not mainstream. Performances are still not mainstream. So we focus a lot of our visibility on getting attendance to come into the festival.
Yeah, right. And so in Ottawa, how is it situated in your city?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ottawa has like a very strong and small theater community. So, I mean, Ottawa has a bit of a reputation because we're a government town of being a boring city. But I think Fringe like is an opportunity for a lot of people with those government jobs to kind of get out, see something strange and weird, or participate in something different and wacky. And so, I mean, out of the base of Ottawa, our festival is one of the smaller ones, but we're also in Canada, where Ottawa is the festival capital of the country. So we have events at all times, but I think Fringe is, one of those kind of like niche things that once you find out about it, our patron return rate is crazy. Once people go to 1 year of Fringe, we see them back every year after.
Yeah, our summers are so short here. Like the really nice time is like June through August. Like that's when the nice weather is. So we try to take advantage of having an outdoor hub, a courtyard, a tent, and that kind of stuff to draw people in. But as Amanda said, like Ottawa is a festival town. There's from mid-May till mid-September, there's always a festival happening every week.
They're overlapping constantly.
Yeah, so like there's Fringe Fest, there's Jazz Fest, there's Blues Fest, there's Poutine Fest, there's Beer Fest, there's all the anything with a fest happens. We're always kind of in competition with them and trying to get people to come down to see our work.
I think maybe that your two festivals are programmed quite differently, or how artists get involved. How in Lagos, how do artists get involved to take part?
It's really very easy. Like I said, we did this other main festival for 5 years. So in terms of artist participation, it's easy. In terms of countrywide participation, that's where it's a bit challenging, because Nigeria is quite big, and in terms of travel, I'm sure it's not as big as Canada, but in terms of travel time, it's.
Oh, you're frozen.
She's frozen. How about you guys? You tell us. How do people get involved? Follow the CAP model.
Well, we're lottery based. So anyone can get it. My favorite line is, I can do a Fringe show, you can do a Fringe show, Keanu Reeves
can do it.
Yeah. Like anyone has the same chance of getting in, right? Doesn't matter how much experience you have or don't.
Yeah.
And we tier our lottery geographically. So half our spots we save for local artists, because we're essentially a local festival. And then we're 30% Canadian and 20% international. And we tend to get tons of Americans.
Yeah,
it's so easy for Americans to perform in Canada. Any international artists, but Americans especially. And then a lot of Aussies and Kiwis. They tend to be the biggest demographic that our international artists come from. And then we also do BYOVs. So if you don't get in a lottery, BYOV is a bring your own venue. So you can come and say, I want to do this show, I want to do it at this space. And it could be a bar, a park, kind of whatever. And then we'll put them in the program and give them the same services. We give, box office and publicity and all that kind of stuff. We'll do the same for them, but they're just bringing their own venue and finding their own technician, but we're doing everything else.
Awesome.
Cool. And Brenda, what's the application process for yours?
What you do is you go to the website and you apply. What we do is we have a few venues that we've spoken to already that we come into partnership with the applicants. So what happens is they get into an arrangement where they share instead of having to pay outrightly for it, because venues in Lagos are quite expensive. And so just to make it easier on the artists, we go ahead and pre-negotiate on their behalf. And then it's like a lottery. Depending on how quickly you apply, you can get a venue of your choice. But we pretty much have a lot of the performing venues locked down and on this arrangement, and then we facilitate plugging in the applicant into the venue.
Yeah, wow, cool.
And one of our themes for today's session is about accessibility and diversity, and what initiatives you have in place to ensure that your festival is accessible for as many people as possible, and that you have as diverse artists and audiences. So can you tell us some of the initiatives that you have?
Yes, so that was our first Fringe last year, and we started an initiative with the Vrystaat Fringe in South Africa, where we were able to facilitate South African artists coming into Lagos. And we just came back from South Africa with, we took 3 artists along to go and do some shows. So in terms of, we're open to exchanges, we're open to any kind of facilitation. We just find the way to do it and we get it done. And so that is something that we're trying to also amplify, to let people know that we're open to exchanges, we're open to collaborating, we're open to cross-cultural collaborations. And at the moment, we don't focus on what it costs or if it's impossible. We just try and make sure that as much as possible, we facilitate and we help any artist that wants to come into Lagos to come and do their Fringe, to come and do their show.
And you connect with Brighton Fringe as well. Tell us about that.
Yes. I mean, you know, Julian Caddy is just a friend of Lagos as far as I'm concerned. He was part of the exchange that we had when we were running Lagos Theatre Festival, and he's on the board of the Lagos Fringe. And we're all working on how to start getting artists to be able to go to Brighton to participate, and for people who have been in Brighton to come to Lagos and participate as well. Hopefully that's the focus for us in 2020. But that relationship and that channel is open. Julian was here last year in November. He was able to do a few workshops, you know, and, you know, speak to people about how to get to Brighton, and even how we can get people from Brighton to come to us, you know, either through the British Council, you know, or whoever it is that's able to help us do that. But yeah, so that's an open, that's also an open initiative that we're hoping that will happen in 2020.
Brilliant.
And we're so glad to announce that even after going to the Vrystaat Fringe, we've gotten in touch with a few other festivals who are interested in opening up their fringes. So we're going to be going back to South Africa next year with a few more artists.
Nice.
Nice.
Perfect. And you guys in Ottawa, how do you make your festival as inclusive as possible and then ensure its sort of accessibility?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll speak on behalf of my coworker, Brittany Johnson, who's our artistic outreach coordinator, because she's really spearheaded both making our festival diverse and inclusive and accessible. So we knew this year, this Fringe, for the first time, we launched a program called Fringe Open Doors, which was an opportunity for artists to apply who had never been into Fringe before, and identified and represented in the theater community, and they could apply, and we drew 2 names, 2 company names, and those artists got to participate in the Fringe free of cost. So we waived their festival fees, as well as provided, connect them with different leaders in the theater community in their area of interest. So I think so they got a mentor to help them, you know, craft and work on their show, and it was very successful. One of our Fringe Open Doors shows that got in this year actually won Best of Fest. It was pretty incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then also on accessibility this year was our first year where all of our venues were 100% physically accessible, which was a really nice achievement, something that we towards for 20 years now. And then Brittany also consulted with an accessibility coordinator, Drea, who you know, we created a full page on our website detailing the different ways the festival can be accessible, you know, how to get to each venue, photo descriptors. You know, we were able to identify with artists what shows you could enjoy if you just heard them, or, you know, what shows were just visually accessible, or, you know, shows that could be relaxed performances. For the first year as well, we added content advice and on each show listing. So, I mean, that was through the help of artists. We asked them to, you know, identify if there's any warnings in the show, like nudity, mature language, etc. And then they could also give further details on, you know, if their show dealt with difficult subject matter, then the audience had the chance to, you know that going into it.
So cool. So before we go and love you and leave you, have you got any messages that you would like to put out into the World Fringe ether to your Fringe colleague peers?
Well, I mean, I would like to say, congratulations to everyone whose festivals are over.
Yes.
You know, keep at it. Those of you who are in mid-festival,
you can do it. Those who have a festival in November, you'll be great.
Yeah,
It'll go great.
Thank you.
Because we're done. Our office is written down, so we're in vacation mode.
We're having beers. We're chilling.
Yeah, my anxiety is ramping up. I'm just really going to say that Lagos Fringe, even though we're still young, we're very excited. We're happy to collaborate. I know that a lot of people say, oh, Africa is difficult to access and all of that, but we just want to let you know that Africa is not difficult to access. You can come here and have a good time. In the month of November, there are lots of festivals in Lagos, and there are lots of opportunities to participate, meet with, network with a lot of artists. So we look forward to people coming in November. Our applications close on the 24th of July. So if you still want to come, have at it.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Done. All right, well, happy World Fringe Day to you all, and it's been a delight to chat with you and catch up with you, and we'll speak to you very soon. So see you soon.
Happy World Fringe Day, you guys. Bye.